So, I'm a drummer. I also love Honkai Star Rail. Now this game just came out and it has an absolutely banging soundtrack. Today we're going to be looking at the boss theme for Cocolia. Now I haven't gotten that far in the game yet. I've got the official release from Hoyo-Mix. There's no background video or anything. I don't want to spoil myself too much. We're just going to listen to the song, break it down from a drummer's perspective. If you guys like the video, check out a playlist link down below. It's got all the other videos that we do where we break down music from Genshin and other Hoyo games from a drummer's point of view. Check those out if you'd like. Subscribe for more. Let's jump in. Oh, vocals and English. I wasn't expecting that. Kind of exciting to see they're taking like a Honkai Impact. Oh! Hang on, let me finish my damn thought. They're taking a Honkai Impact approach, which is going to be more direct music as opposed to just big orchestral compositions and movements like they do in Genshin Impact. Hang on, we've got an acoustic drum set kicking in. If this has like just a normal acoustic kit, this is going to be my jam. We're going to have lots to talk about here. Out of greed, woo! Oh my gosh, those drums are huge. The mix is so airy and verbed out, reverb. Woo! Harmonies. Whoa! Oh my gosh. We have to go back. I was just about to comment on how the drums were basically filling space. They were very open, very splashy and crashy with slow hits from the snare and the tom, while the guitar was driving, essentially the rhythm or the backbone of the song. And then they fill in with the drums, and the drums are filling that in too, in unison with the guitar. Let's go back, 10 or 15 seconds and listen to that whole transition again, because that was really cool, super dynamic. Guitar, da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Drums are wide open. And then drums are going to pick up with the guitar now. Oh, they didn't. It was just a fill. All that time, I thought they were going to come in hard right there. So again, guitars are leading. We can hear an acoustic guitar just playing rhythm in the background too. Now the drums. God, this is super smart composition. So now the electric guitar that was leading the da-na-na-na-na, that's dropped out. The chorus is done. They go back to the verse. So now the drums are leading your main percussion, your main rhythm as usual. This is a good old-fashioned an acoustic kit. So like this is up my alley. Finally, sometime I can finally sound like I actually know what I'm talking about here. So they're just running the main rhythm on the hi-hats, kick, and snare. You can still hear the acoustic in the background. Acoustic is almost always used basically as a rhythm instrument, which is interesting because it's a guitar, but it is almost always used just for rhythm, and they're doing that as well, basically strumming at double the pace of what the hi-hats are going on the drum kit. Listen for that if you can. That is really great drumming. It's super busy. It's really busy, but because the tempo is slower, it doesn't sound chaotic or over the top. It's just filling the space of a slower tempo. We made a choice, go fight against your fate. Now everything's pushing, everything's driving. The drumming is basically following the exact same beat that was played on the verse, but slightly busier. A few extra hits on each kick and snare. And of course that pounding electric guitar is back too, adding even more drive. Whoa, what? Whoa, this is all over the place. Double kick, hello, that came out of nowhere. Okay, we need to go back to that. You can hear, as soon as that breakdown starts, there's actually a very faint clapping. I hope you guys are listening with headphones on. If you're not, you're going to miss a lot of the, the quieter nuance in the background of the song. There is a clapping happening in the background that's just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is serving as a very soft back end rhythm for that breakdown. And then the guitar comes in. I'm not a guitarist, so I couldn't begin to tell you what kind of a pattern that they're strumming there. But it's essentially countering the basic 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 of the clapping. And then when the drums come in, the kick and the snare are going all over the place. Lots of movement, tons of tension, and just a lot of volume right there. That's a super intense part. But the hi-hats come in, and those are just counting your 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like the clapping was. But then we've got multiple guitars, electric and acoustic, and I actually think multiple acoustic tracks doing alternating rhythms that don't match that hi-hat. If you can listen for that, again, if you have headphones, it'll be easier. If you can hear that and make that out, that's going to explain a lot of why it feels like there's so much tension and pull on this part. Oh, that's really hard to follow. It almost sounds like that guitar part isn't in 4/4. So much tension right here. Excellent musicianship, excellent songwriting and composition. Hear that clap again? I was not expecting that. They had a very short section of that clapping again, and I was listening for that. This is so intense. Drop. Yeah. Whoa, does that song, like, is that the song that plays in the boss fight, or is there like a cutscene? Did I see everybody saying that this is the boss fight theme, the boss fight soundtrack? Does that play during the fight? Because that will be absolutely insane. Also going to be curious how they loop it, because in video game soundtracks, you have to have, your songs have to be written to be able to be looped, so that they can fit with the gameplay as the player is going through, the different sections of the fight or different sections of the level. I would be really curious to see how they loop that song to fit into a boss fight that can, potentially last upwards of 10 or 15 minutes, depending on how you play the game. Wow, there was a lot to take in there, gamers. So for me, the highlight of that song is definitely the breakdown at the end. I think we're going to call that the bridge. I think that would have been the bridge of that song, because it was super smart in how they gave it tension and dynamic. And a lot of times, and this is particularly, in my opinion, particularly complicated and complex to do when you're using acoustic traditional band instruments, electric guitar, acoustic guitar, bass guitar, drums, and vocals. It's a little bit easier to create that dynamic when you have a full orchestra, because you're looking at, upwards of 20 to 50 different varying instruments that you can put in. You can have multiple violins and bring it down to just one violin to create a dynamic and then build up. But when you're only using a select number of instruments for a band, it gets harder to do that without just making it over the top and extremely loud. So what they did was what I explained with the basic 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You heard it with the clap. You heard it with the open hi-hats. So it didn't sound as direct as the clap. The open hi-hats, they were sloshing around. So it was more like a shh rather than a tss. Great sound effects. Anyways, they keep that going to give it the structure But then everything else went all over the place. And again, I don't know for sure because I'm not a guitarist. I'm not a real musician. I'm very transparent about that. But it almost sounded like the guitar part was not in 4/4. It absolutely was countering. If it was in 4/4, it wasn't on the same count pattern as the actual song itself. It was probably playing on the offbeat. So rather than going 1, 2, 3, 4, it's just playing on the and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If you guys have played music before, if you've like played to a metronome, done marching band, stuff like that, you understand what I'm talking about. If you haven't, now you get a little bit of an idea and insight into how composers and songwriters can do that to create tension like they did in this song without just adding in a ton of different instruments and synthesizers and screaming vocals and stuff like that. Really, really smart songwriting. That was definitely the highlight for me. But I want to know, what was you guys' favorite part about the song? That part was it for me, hands down. That really did it for me. But I know everybody's got different tastes, and that's the great thing about music. Now, of course, if you guys like the video, thumbs up, gang. Where you at? Leaving a like actually helps out a ton. And of course, subscribe for more. We upload videos like this. Try and get them up once a week, breaking down different songs from different video game soundtracks. If you want to see more Honkai Star Rail, please leave a comment. Let me know what other songs you want to hear. I know our selection's a little bit limited here in just version 1.0, but I'd love your suggestions. I want you to love the games and love yourself. And until next time, I love you. Bye.